Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
With more than 1,000 palm trees and a Caribbean color scheme, the facility projects a South Beach flavor that distinguishes Homestead-Miami from other major racetracks in America. It took a while longer to get the right combination for the racing surface. In its first iteration, the track had 4 separate low-banked corners, reminiscent of a mini Indianapolis. That configuration failed to promote good racing and unfortunately also provided bad crash angles. Widening the aprons failed to correct either of these problems. A major reconfiguration of the track during the summer of 1997 brought a more conventional layout. Sweeping 180-degree corners at either end of the oval, close, still no cigar. The most recent work on the track, during which the track assumed variable banking, up to 20 degrees in the corners, flattening to 3 degrees on the straightaways, has done the trick. Everyone agrees, at Homestead-Miami, the beauty is now more than skin deep. Tonight, it's race number 6 of the Vigilante Racing League, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, race number 6, season 11 of the Vigilante Racing League. Race details tonight: 133 laps the race distance, 76-degree ambient temperature, a little humid here, 91%. Still clear skies here in South Florida, 7-mile-per-hour breeze, a 79 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. Drivers working with a 70% fuel load this evening. That should give them 33 to 35 laps on a tank of fuel. 4 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish if one is necessary. Practice still underway here at the Speedway. We're going to go trackside here, see who is fastest so far. It is the 83 of Jason Gaines, lap time of 32.607. Then it's the 88, Mike Adamson, Trevor Robertson, John McAdam, Tim Pope, the top 5. About a minute and a half left in this session before we jump right into qualifying. Qualifying will be a 2 laps or 5-minute session, whatever comes first. A couple of chatters in the stream already. Albert Anderson and Jillian. Jillian and Tim cheering on Kelly tonight. Let's win this one. Albert Anderson, of course, cheering on Albert Anderson. Can't imagine why. Trevor Robertson, trouble out of turn 2. Doesn't quite wad it up. Spins out of the corner, straightens her back out, back in action. Further looking here at the upcoming schedule. Of course, tonight here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, this follows the real-world NASCAR calendar. So we'll be at Martinsville Speedway next week on the 2nd, then Darlington the 9th, the 16th at Bristol. We got a fun week on the week of the 23rd for Easter, no official race that week. Then Talladega, Texas, Kansas, an all-star race in May. It's going to be a good one. Albert Anderson in the chat. That's my son. We know. That's why I said what I said. One of our major regulars here. So practice in the books here. Gaines will top the charts at a 32.607. Pretty considerable time differential from first to second there, but we'll jump into qualifying, see if they can match that up. More of the same. We'll see who takes to the track first. Looks like Larry Dickerson will be first to roll. He's got the truck in gear. Let's see if he takes off here. And there he goes. Now, last night, if you joined us in the broadcast for the Numb Thumbs Racing League, we were also here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. It seemed that lap 2 was the fastest for everyone in qualifying. Got to make note, Larry Dickerson had a strong run last night as well, putting the car into the top, or truck that is, in the top 3. Little aggressive here in qualifying. He's going to get a piece of the wall. That'll invalidate this lap, but the big problem here is it's out of turn 4. It may really hurt him on lap 2 as well. Dickerson may call this one here. He's going to turn it down off of 2 and park it, so he might be done. May just opt for the back. And I think he had a problem in qualifying last night as well, so those demons not going away. Meanwhile, Bittner second, quick 32.985. Alan Vaught the fastest with a 7:31. He's still on his second lap. We'll see if he can pick it up here. Alan across the stripe. Does not pick up, loses just a touch. Meanwhile, though, Sean McDonald top of the board on his second lap, a 32.709, currently the top time here in qualifying. Trevor Robertson at 8:57, his first lap, not too shabby. We'll see if he can pick it up here. Lap number 2. And he does, goes P1, 32.697. Great lap for the 6th, and Trevor Robertson puts it on provisional pole. And Tim Pope goes to the point on his second lap at 32.692, besting Robertson by 5/1000ths of a second. Dylan Bryant goes 8th quick with a 7.99. Andrew Cawthon, 24th on his first lap, 33.174. And a little late to the party, we got Chris Goins up in the booth again, so I think we'll have Chris for the broadcast this evening. Chris, you got me?
Yes, sir, Steve, I got you.
There we go. Chris, thanks for joining us again, buddy. I know it's kind of a last minute for everybody here, but glad to have you in the booth.
Hey, glad to be here. Looking forward to interesting and fun race here at Homestead.
Certainly an interesting, I don't know about fun race for you last night. How did it go out there?
Oh, not great. Not great. Turn 1, lap 1, got some involved in some stuff up front, and then about 15 laps later I got stuck, finished off the night. So 17 laps probably, so hopefully these guys end up with a better result than I did.
Well, just got to keep the caution count down here tonight. I think we had 11 last evening, and the majority of them coming after halfway. Things kind of came unraveled last night. Let's see if everybody can keep it together this evening. Chris Klein is continuing to turn laps here, using this as an extended practice. He's already got his qualifying laps in, but time expires on this session. That'll wrap it up here from Homestead. We'll get to our starting grid here in just a moment. Quick break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, let's get a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 32.692 seconds, it's the 7 of Timothy Pope. Outside front row, missed it by only 4 one-thousandths of a second. It's Trevor Robertson. Row 2 belongs to Sean McDonald and Alan Vaught. Row 3, it's Andrew Player and Dustin Eaton. Row number 4, Jonathan Osborne and Dylan Bryant. Row 5, the 99 of Albert Anderson and Greg Klein. Starting in the 11th spots, the 5 Goodweiser Motorsports driver of Anthony Williams and Jeremiah Burke in 12th. Starting 13th, it's Jason Gaines, who was quick in practice. We'll see how he runs during the race this evening. Mike Adamson will roll 14th. Ricky Wittenberg, 15th. 16th belongs to Kyle Vaught. David Feit will start 17th. 18th starter Andrew Coffin. 19th starter is the 75 of Stoney Benfield. Josh Bittner, the 84, starts 20th. 21st belongs to Scott Roney. 22nd, Dave Mayberry. 23rd starter, it's Jack Dixon. 24th to 21 of Derek Welch. John McAdam in the 47 will start 25th. 26th starter, George Rincon. 27th is Dustin Wade. 28th, Austin Paul. Craig Goodenough, the 89 machine, will start 29th. Larry Dickerson, an issue in qualifying tonight, was very fast last evening. Finished top 3. We'll see what he has in store tonight. He'll start 30th. Chris Klein, 31st. 32nd starter, Kelly Cool. Russ Kilgore, 33rd. 34th, Greg Dobson. Joe Canellis, 35th. Kevin Hunt, 36th. 37th starter, Dion Jones. Chandler Paul, 38th. And last but not least, in the 39th position, it's the 1-2-3 of John Gallagher, rolling shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid here from Homestead. Field working the back straightaway already. So we're getting ready for the start here. Real quick, Chris, who's your pick?
Oh, man. Let's, you throw me on the spot here. Let's go Dickerson. He was running well last night. Let's take Larry.
You took my pick.
Again?
I'm going to stop giving you number 1. I'm going to go with the 33 of Alan Vaught tonight.
Green flag.
There it is. Green flag in the air. We're underway from Homestead. Oh, trouble already in turn 4. Coming to the green. Truck still trying to get caught up to the backside of the field, and the yellow comes out as they're trying to get lined up as we went green. I know last night we went an extra lap trying to get everybody double file all the way back, but it just didn't happen this evening. So just as soon as the caution comes out, or the green comes out, we get a caution. Chandler Paul, the main player in it, in the number 72. Let's see if we can go back and catch this. What happened here coming to green. Dion Jones comes up. Paul comes down. They meet in the middle. And there you have it. Well, Chris, does that just get it out of the way, or is it a sign of things to come? What do you think?
I think that was kind of hopefully that was kind of a fluke situation there. I don't know that gets anything out of the way as far as nerves or anything. You didn't even get up to probably 3rd gear. So I think if they get another one here in the next 5 laps or so, that'll be kind of that one. But I think hopefully they'll get it cleaned up and run for long distance.
Well, working caution number 1 after just about 100 yards of green flag action. I don't think we really got past the start-finish much before the yellow was thrown. Again, what happened there, and we'll go back and look at it here again. Chandler Paul coming to green, was working around the outside of Dion Jones. Dion not really up to speed. They're not even caught up to the tail of the field yet. And it looks like Chandler might have got a little bit loose, trying to get on the power, and then Dion came up the track at the same time.
Well, the name of the game here is definitely loose on power. So it's they'll be sliding around all night. Hopefully that's not a sign of things.
Yeah, it stepped out just a little bit. As soon as he got on the gas, it started turning left on him. Well, we'll line them up and we'll try it again here. I think we're going to get the 1 to go when we cross the line this time. Now we're about 2 laps shorter race distance than what the Num Thumbs Racing League ran last night. But I believe, if I remember correctly, we had 2 less sets of tires last night. So I know guys definitely went at least 1 pit stop without changing them. But there's about a 2 seconds of fall off on new tires versus old. Curious to see if anybody does any gambling with that, especially if we get a brash of cautions. It's going to be decision time as to whether or not you take those tires earlier than you had planned. I know you've got more than you would have had last evening. Just something to think about here as this race moves on.
Green flag.
And let's try it again. Green flag in the air. Barney's waving it. We're underway from Homestead. Pope with the jump into turns 1 and 2. The battle's on for the second spot. Alan Vaught on the low side. Trevor Robertson up top. Looks like he's far back, but he's going to have a big-time run down the backstretch. Will he challenge back into turn 3? Nope. Alan Vaught with a run, looking to the inside for the race lead. Allen was there to the door of the 7. Now Pope up the racetrack. Might be able to build a run himself to defend. We saw a lot of that last night. We'll see if it continues this evening. At the line, what a finish that would have been, but it's only lap 5 in the books as Trevor Robertson takes a peek to the inside for the second spot. Alan Vaught goes, don't worry about second. I'm going for the lead. Still not quite clear, or is he? Yep. Barely. Just got in front of the 7 of Pope down the backstretch. Alan Vaught to the lead. Pope looked a little loose on exit of 4. Now we are seeing a lot of guys here that are running the high side, but not as many of them running it in 1 and 2. Is turns 1 and 2 a little bit more on the free side getting in?
Actually, you know, for me, it seemed like 1 and 2 would be the one to run the high side. It feels like it's has a little bit wider angle, a little bit easier to get into. It's really slick coming off of 4, and I kind of want to cut that a little bit sharper to give me more room to come out of the corner. So I am surprised to see these guys on the bottom in 1 and 2 as much as they are. I would typically think the high side would be the way to go. As you see Burke get loose.
Jeremiah Burke hanging on to it off 2. That'll open the door for Albert Anderson to the bottom of the racetrack. Burke going to go topside here to build up some more momentum again with Andrew Player now in tow. Here comes the 88 of Mike Adamson as well.
Caution.
And the caution is out.
How was your forward drive there towards the end of that little run we just did?
48 Jack Dixon nose first into the outside wall here on the main straightaway. Not sure what has caused this. We'll get a look at it here in just a moment. Caution number 2, 9 laps in here at Homestead. Now, Dixon was nosed into the wall there, but there's some rear end damage to that truck, so let's see if he had any help. So Dixon up the track, he scrapes the right rear in the fence, and then Dickerson comes in and just gets him in that left rear. Doesn't take much. Yeah, Dixon's got a handful of wheel, and he just gets a little nudge there from the 69. So Caution number 2 here. We're working lap number 10. To no one's real surprise here, I don't think many people are going to pit. We see Dylan Bryant, he's going to come down from 12th. Can't imagine this will be a tire stop. Though I guess it could be with those extra sets that they have. 5 total if you count the ones they start the race on. See if Dylan just goes fuel only, tries to get a little off sequence. I don't know if that's a huge advantage. Especially if we continue on this trend of caution laps.
Yeah, I was going to say with that first caution, too, I mean, they haven't used very much fuel at all. I think them coming in here is a little surprising as well to me. But if you're in the back, what have you got to lose, right? I don't know where Dylan was running at the time.
Well, he was 12th when he came down.
Yeah, it's a little high up for me.
That's a lot of track position to give up because he's going to come out here. It looks like 27th, but now a lot of drivers in behind took the opportunity as well. I think he'll end up being the first truck to pit down the running order. He'll restart 27th, and I think everybody else behind him did the same thing. So it's going to put about a third of the field on a different pit cycle here. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Again, it's really early to tell. They don't have real good data here as to how far they're going to be able to run on a tank of fuel, what the tires are necessarily going to do, unless they've put a lot of practice in this week and they know something that we just don't yet. Pace truck lights are out. We are on the 1 to go. Just over half a lap away from getting this race back underway. Front row is going to be Alan Vaught and Trevor Robertson, then Tim Pope and McDonald. Then Osborne, Jeremiah Burke, Albert Anderson, Andrew Player, Mike Adamson, Dustin Eaton. That'll be the top 10 when we get things back underway here in just a moment.
Green flag.
There it is, green flag back in the air. As we saw all night long last night, the leader absolutely with the advantage on the restart. Second place, really in the worst situation possible. We're seeing that now with Robertson as he loses the ground to Tim Pope. Just noticing a little artifact there on the 7 of Tim Pope. He's got a little 28 hiding in the bottom of that 7, a throwback or tribute to Davey Allison, I can only assume. Pretty cool paint scheme. I haven't noticed that on that truck just yet. Looking good out there, Tim. Robertson, meanwhile, jumps to the inside. He'll retake that second position from Pope. But again, Pope, KG veteran out there, he's going to take care of his equipment. He's not going to push too hard too early. Robertson's a little bit faster right now. He's okay with that. He's going to let him go. He'll come back to him later on. Sean McDonald trying to hold off the 81 of Osborne. McDonald on the top. I want to say the battle for the top 3 is kind of settled down, but Robertson really all over Alan Vaught, wanting to make a move here for that race lead. Not quite close enough yet. Still top 3 single file. Not anybody really changing lanes just yet. Robertson does slip up the track a bit, maybe trying to get some clean air on the nose of that number 6. Takes a look to the inside in turn 3. This for the race lead. We'll see if he can pull it off. Drives it in deep. Door slams Alan Vaught just a bit. Real early for moves like that. That's going to cost him, too. It breaks his momentum as well as Alan Vaught. But Alan with the clean air, able to drive off. Robertson will lose the second spot to Tim Pope. See what happens here if he can get that back from the 7. Meanwhile, the battle behind them is on. Osborne in the 81 up top. Albert Anderson trying to take the spot. Anderson in 5th. Anderson finally clear of Osborne. Osborne going to cross over, take a peek back to the inside. We'll see if he's got anything for him down the back straightaway. Osborne now to the inside with the top lane seems to be where you're going to want to be here because Anderson, if he goes up the racetrack, he'll build some momentum, carry that down the front stretch, should be able to defend, but Osborne with a good exit as well. And yellow is out. We got trouble off turn number 4. Didn't quite catch it, but saw a little bit of tire smoke. Looks like Josh Bittner and others. Oh, big time wreck here on the front stretch. Austin Paul facing the wrong way. He'll go right to pit lane. Greg Dobson trying to get righted. We were on board with Albert Anderson at the time. I saw a little flicker there behind him. Thought we got away with it, but then the yellow came out anyway.
Couldn't quite tell there. It looked like Connell right behind Albert may have got a little loose up towards the front, and it just chain reaction there is what it looked like.
So I'm seeing Bittner and the 23. Ah, there we go.
McDonald, sorry.
Sean McDonald and Adamson coming together. So Adamson goes up to gut here, goes 3 wide with Osborne on the bottom, but can't hold the nose down. Slides up the track, gets into the 23, gets him crossed up. And this is going to be a big hit. Man, that reminds me of Rusty at Dover back in the day. Yeah, I just dated myself again. So Bittner gets turned here. Kyle Vaught gets into the 84 while Bittner was just trying to get checked up and straighten out. And then this is where I think it's going to get ugly. Oh, Chandler Paul. Sorry, Austin Paul. How did he not see that? McDonald was almost stopped at that point. So I'm going to watch it from this perspective again. This is as soon as the caution comes out. Now the green light's still on, so technically no yellow. I'm surprised it took that long. There's the yellow. So now the yellow lights are on. I really don't know what to say about it, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that was a late caution. You know, it did look like McDonald there may have been moving in the high lane, but yeah, I'm not sure. But McDonald definitely took a big hit there. He even before the contact with Paul there, that was going to be some pretty heavy damage into that outside wall. That's what got me last night. I had basically the exact same hit and basically ended it for me.
Well, Sean Roberts had a similar incident there, and I think you were involved with it. It didn't look like much on the replay side of things, but he ended up losing an engine as soon as that impact happened. He didn't even complete a full lap.
Yep, he we made a little bit of contact and he went up into the wall and I heard it blow.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Third caution of the night. Wrapped up. Lap 24 goes up on the board. Alan Vaught will lead him back to the line here after the restart. Lap 25 goes up. Field looks good now to the main straightaway. Robertson going to step out of line here. Takes a look to the inside. Nothing doing just yet, but drives up a little closer to the tailgate of the 33. Put it within a truck length for now out of turn number 4. We'll have to build some momentum again. We saw a little bit of it last night. Drivers kind of snaking to the low side of the racetrack, trying to break up the draft, much like what you'd see at places like Indy or Pocono. Chris, I know you had a rough night last night, but is that something that actually plays a part here at Homestead? Can he pick up a good draft from the leading truck?
You can. The straightaways aren't nearly as long as those other places that you mentioned, but you can definitely use that to your advantage. Now with these trucks, you got to be careful because you do get a lot of just arrow push in the middle of the corner. You know, especially watching the 6 here. If he goes in on Allen's tail, you may see him just push up the track a little bit. Just that arrow tight is a big thing, but the draft definitely can play a good factor in getting a run into the corner to give yourself a different lane.
So this is the battle for the top spot here. Alan Vaught, Trevor Robertson. Tim Pope runs back in third. He has changed up his driving line here. He's working the high side of the racetrack. Albert Anderson trying to do something with him. Keeps taking a look to the bottom. Anderson running more of the middle top than anything else. Trying to look at some of our biggest movers so far this evening. Right now, it's going to be the number 89 of Craig Goodenough. He definitely is that. Up 15 spots to 14th here. 29 laps in, considering we've had a few cautions already. That's pretty impressive because a lot of those laps have been run under yellow. McAdam going to give a bit of a push there to the 89 down into turn number 1. Derek Welch working his way through. He's passed some trucks as well. He's up 9 spots. Big gaggle of trucks back here. Kelly Cool, one up in the wall. Looks like the 123 of John Gallagher, scraping the right side of the safer barrier. Keeps it up there for the time being, not wanting to collect anybody, but back on the power in the main straightaway, but back in the wall again. I don't know how long Gallagher is going to be able to get away with that. He's been running the wall. And I don't mean just off it. I mean, he's been running against it for the better part of half the corner. I don't know if he's just trying to be up top in the grip, but just can't stay out of the fence. It is difficult. Once you get the right rear in the wall, it does tend to turn the right front up towards the top of the wall as well. A little better that time through 1 and 2. Fence a little bit here on entry to 3. I mean, Chris, can the truck really handle all that throughout the course of an event? He's just scraping the right side. He's not really slamming into it.
Yeah, I mean, with the touches that he's having, you're not really going to see any real damage done to it. It doesn't seem like, other than, you know, just slowing your corner speed down some. Yeah, I think from a structural standpoint, I think the truck will be fine. You can't imagine you making up any time when you're scrubbing speed into the wall like that.
Well, Gallagher running in the 27th position. He's up 12 spots, so something is working out for him. Alan Vaught continues to lead. The pressure has subsided a bit as Trevor Robertson now back 2, maybe 3 truck lengths off the back bumper of the 33. Tim Pope a little bit more distance back from the second place machine, but again, I wouldn't really discredit that too much here. Pope is going to take care of his stuff, just kind of ride it out. He knows you can't win this thing. There's just a little bit less than 100 laps to go in this event before we can call it a night. So don't want to push the issue too much. No need to kill those tires and struggle to the next pit stop. Pope's going to lose the spot here. Burke takes over third. He's going to battle back, though, on the inside. Burke up the racetrack. He may have a run here. He does. Keeps it alongside Pope. Oh, Mike Adamson out of shape off of 2. Drives it below the white line to the flat of the racetrack, but goes back to the racing line. We continue on. Scary moment a moment ago for the 88 of Mike Adamson, out of shape. Back to the power, though, as he's working to the inside Albert Anderson. So, Chris, I want to go back to your experience last night with these trucks again. I know you were battling a damaged truck for a while, but as the race went on, if you had a long green flag run, what was the handling characteristics like? Did it build loose or did it build tight?
Well, it started loose, and it definitely ended up tighter towards the end of the run, just off the corner. Middle of the corner is still wicked loose. You can still snap it out, but definitely built tight towards the end, coming out of the corner.
Now, with it building tight, can you almost accidentally force it loose, trying to chase it up the racetrack, putting too much wheel into it? All of a sudden, it catches and wants to come around.
100%. I think we actually may have seen that last night with a couple of guys, but the one that stood out to me, I think that happened to Vince Short. You know, you just kind of see him lose it on his own coming out of 4. I think he was pushing to the wall. He gave it a little extra wheel there in the corner, and it just snapped loose on him there and ended his night.
Meanwhile, we've got some leaders pitting now. The 6 of Trevor Robertson from the 2nd spot pulls down after Jeremiah Burke did the same. It did kind of tip everybody off here to say, you know, I'm going to come down, and I think it might be time. It's a little bit early as far as the fuel window is concerned, considering the cautions that we have had, but lap 40, I guess, is a good point to come down and make this pit stop, considering the amount of laps we have left.
Yeah, you're also just going to see, you know, the leader pulling everybody down, so that first person that pit, probably Burke, you'll see he'll gain some time there, especially in the first few laps.
The old undercut, as they call it in road racing. Oh, Vaught a little deep in the box. He's going to have to back it up just a hair. John Osborne in the pits, Jason Gaines, Dustin Eaton, Greg Klein, Craig Goodenough, Kevin Hunt. Pit cycle almost in. Some drivers, again, earlier opting to make their pit stops prior during some of these cautions. So there's going to be kind of 2 waves of green flag stops as long as we stay green throughout this. It's going to separate these guys quite a bit, especially with the tire differential. Current leader, though, looky, it's the 69 of Larry Dickerson. He came down pit lane at lap 10, so you're going to see him have to make a stop here relatively soon. But I don't know, Chris. I mean, if I'm him, do you just kind of drag this thing out and wait till you absolutely have to? Maybe take a chance, get that caution?
Yeah, this early, I say yes. You take that chance because there's plenty of time to make it up if you know, it stays green. Plus, he's going to have newer tires towards, you know, in the next run, and then it's going to carry over to the end of the race. So, who knows? They run out of tires at the very end, and he has 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else. He's in good position.
Checking on the stream chat again. Josh Bittner is calling me out. He says, I'm going to call baloney about you saying a while ago that peanuts in racing are bad luck. Ever since I stopped eating them on Wednesdays, I've been junked beyond oblivion. Check your wallet for a 50. If there's a 50 in there, get that out of the house. Oh, there's the caution.
You doing there, bud?
That's what Dickerson was looking for. Dave Feit bringing out the yellow. I think this might have happened with him trying to get to pit lane. This is going to work out, I think, decently for Larry Dickerson. It's not going to be in the form of track position, but he will have the freshest tires out there. The 55 Ricky Wittenberg around in the front stretch, too. Well, let's see what caused this one. See David Feit there in the 1 on the bottom of the racetrack. They're 3 wide, but I think David's trying to get to pit lane. I think he's just late on the brakes. We saw this last night, too. No, I think he's okay. The question is going to be, did he get there before the pits close? Because if he did, that's going to work out great for him because he can go down and get his pit work completed and then go back out. Let's see if it was... Oh, there's Kelly Cool facing the wrong way. Jason Gaines. So Kelly was sliding up the track. Gaines was right there. Albert Anderson's going to get a piece. So is Osborne, Ricky Wittenberg, Dylan Bryant. Looks like McAdam is in it as well. This was a bigger one than we thought. Larry Dickerson, as we expected, going to hit pit lane here. Dickerson's still got the old HBR TV logo, though. We got to work on that.
A little bit of nostalgia there.
Yeah, right? If we were at Darlington, I'd let it go. So through this, though, I think Larry's going to be in really good position here. 'Cause he's sitting fourth after the pit stop.
Yeah, because right before that caution, I saw Jeremiah Burke get past him to, I guess, go back on the lead lap. But with Burke running as high as he was in the field, I think you're going to have to see everybody else take a waiver round. So Larry will still be towards that front.
Oh, we only got 15 cars on the lead lap technically right now. Obviously, that's going to change quite a bit, but a lot of drivers getting caught a lap down through that. Dickerson has dropped now back to 6th, now 7th. Well, we'll see where he cycles back through. I'm curious how this is working out. So now Dickerson back to 11th. It's going to be a tough one for them to get this one lined out right. Caution comes out like that right in the middle of the pit cycle. It's a cluster. Kind of looks like the Indy 500 pace lap.
Not going.
I was going to say, there's a 3 wide going into 3 with 1 to go. So, not 1 to go, 2 to go.
You've got a million people out there, and they're all saying the same thing. And they're like, well, no, this is my spot. No, it's telling me to pass this guy. It's telling me to go behind this guy. So they're going to add a lap to the caution here. We're going to go one more time around at least until we can get the order right. Josh Bittner in the chat says, Albert, want to join me on the couch? I think Bittner's looking for some Netflix and chill. Albert Anderson out of this one as well. Too much damage to be repaired. Looks like we got the order all fixed here. Double file, lights out. Pace truck about to head down pit lane, and we're ready for the restart here. Lap 50 will go up on the board. Robertson with the lead. Allen Vaught to the outside. Green in the air. We're back underway. Dickerson ended up in the 13th spot after all that, but there's only 14 trucks on the lead lap, so it's really not a bad move. It worked out for him. First real opportunity to see Roberts out in front with clean air on the nose of that Chevrolet, and he's put some distance on Allen Vaught already. We know he was fast in the tire tracks, but just couldn't break that cushion, I guess you could say, between himself and the 33. Now that he starts from the front, is able to get clear of Allen and continues to lead this race. Lap 52 up. Robertson, Vaught, Burke, Benfield, Bryant. That's your new top 5. Some fresh faces up front here from the beginning of this race. Chandler Paul running in the 6th spot there, leading the next pack of trucks. Russ Kilgore in tow. Dustin Wade, Chris Klein, Jack Dixon, the top 10. Kilgore jumps to the outside for a moment. Crossover out of turn number 2. Paul scrapes the wall. One truck out of shape, straightens it back out. Derek Welch in the mix. Kilgore to the inside of the 68 of Dustin Wade. This is the battle for the 6th position. Robertson still the leader. Half second plus back to Alan Vaught in second. Kilgore not able to do anything with Dustin Wade. He's going to reside himself into the 7th position, maybe go down a little further here, but Derek Welch not a lead lap truck. Running 15th, trying to work his way through. I think Welch is the first truck 1 lap down, so if we do get another caution, he would get that lucky dog, would wave back around, still be in contention for this thing. Back out front, though, the lead has shrunk for Robertson. Alan Vaught closing the gap. It was almost 6/10 just a couple of laps ago. Now it's just above 2. Impressive to see how evenly matched the top 2 drivers here are right now. Allen, I think, is just a half step quicker than the 6 right now. Last lap for Vaught was a 33.53, about 7/10 quicker than the race leader. Not 7/10, 7/100, that is. That battle cools off a bit, but the battle for 3rd is on. Dylan Bryant working his way forward, trying to do something with a 75 of Stoney Benfield. Benfield started back in the 19th spot, through some strategies, worked himself into this top 5, but now Bryant to the inside, trying to take that 3rd position away. Wondering if Lori Vaught sent something to these guys under caution the last time, trying to get them to settle down. It seems like everyone has dialed it back just a little bit. A lot of single file racing towards the front. Of course, we do have a lot of trucks not on the lead lap anymore, but things have relaxed just slightly. But man, Larry Dickerson on the move here from 17th, working his way back through the field up into the 10th spot. Lost connection there for a moment. Dickerson now to 9th as he disposes of quickly the 72 of Chandler Paul, who Chandler, again, impressive run. He's 10th. He started 38th here tonight. Still not quite to halfway, so lots of racing left, but still impressive nonetheless. Meanwhile, change for the race lead. Alan Vaught has gotten clear of the 6 of Trevor Robertson. I want to try and see if I can find that, show it to you guys how it went down. Here it is, just a couple of laps ago. Allen had the run out of turn 4, gets to the inside, cross start finish, drives it to the bottom of the racetrack in 1. Back to the throttle just to get some space. Nicely done. Stoney Benfield doing a good job holding off the 51 of Dylan Bryant. So Benfield's still running 3rd, and you know what? Those drivers are starting to reel the top 2 in. I don't know if that's as a result of that battle for the lead that we saw, or if they're just slowing their pace a bit. Looking at the last lap time, in fact, Stoney Benfield was the fastest truck on the track at a 34 flat. Now Alan Vaught ran an 02, so pretty evenly matched if you do the math on that. Stoney doing a good job running in that 3rd spot. Working the high line as Robertson goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Benfield now makes a move to the inside, taking that 2nd position from Robertson. Now I got to wonder here if Robertson just chewed up his tires, or he does have a little bit older rubber underneath him by comparison. Lap 39 was the pit stop for the 6. Allen was a lap later. It's not a huge difference, but Benfield, his stop was at lap 46. So about a 5-6 lap fresher tire advantage for the 75. We'll see if he's got anything for Allen here, at least to pick up some laps led.
That's where you'll see the biggest change in those tires too, is around that 15 to 20 lap mark is where you'll see that big drop off. And so if you do have a little bit newer tires, you'll be able to last a little longer, and I think that's what we're seeing here with the 75.
So Robertson now falls to the 4th position as Bryant gets around. One thing I do like to see about the 6 of Trevor Robertson is he's got a fast truck. He knows he's got some talent, but when he knows that his tires are falling off or he just doesn't have the pace that he had 10 laps ago, he doesn't put up too much of a fight, lets those guys go. And honestly, it's kind of reminiscent of another guy that drove the 6 with the same Valvoline decals, and that was Mark Martin.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say he's got the right paint scheme for that type of driving.
Something I wish we saw a whole lot more of in the real world today, even in iRacing. I think it would go a long way to make for some good racing if guys were just a little bit more patient. Jeremiah Burke running back in the 5th position. Dustin Wade in 6th. We are just past halfway here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, though. We're going to take a side-by-side track limits break. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, lap 74 up on the board here. Alan Vaught continues to lead, a dominant performance by the 33 to this point. Dylan Bryant now up to the second position. Stoney Benfield now third. Robertson back to fourth, hanging on to it for the time being. Dustin Wade now cracking the top 5. And look at this. The 69 of Larry Dickerson making his way back towards the front. Remember, he was able to wait it out until that caution came out to make his pit stop. Yes, he had to go to basically the tail end of the lead lap through that exchange, but at that point, that was 14th or so. Not a bad spot for Larry Dickerson, as now he's challenging for the 5th spot. Challenging? No, he's got it. Couple of takers on pit lane. Trevor Robertson, Jeremiah Burke within the top 10. They hit pit road. And I think just like last time, but Robertson has to back it up. That's going to cost him a second or so, and under green flag conditions, that is a lifetime of track position. 4 tires and fuel for the 6. He'll get back out there, expecting this to drag the leaders down at least in the next lap or 2, just like it did previously. Alan Vaught still with the lead. We'll see if he makes the trip down pit road. And here he comes. Ross Kilgore is going to come down to pit as well. So Dylan Bryant to the race lead through this cycle of pit stops. Allen deep in the box again. No, didn't have to back it up this time, but man, right on the razor's edge there. Cannot pit the truck outside the box. If he slides forward another 6 inches, he's in trouble. So Dylan Bryant, Stoney Benfield, Larry Dickerson, the top 3. And again, I would expect some pit stops here soon from these guys as well. I think the majority of the field may have cycled back to the same strategies here through those cautions. Oh, some drivers trying to get to pit lane weren't able to get it done, had to abandon the effort. Drivers that made it down: Tim Pope, Kyle Vaught, Derek Welch, Anthony Williams, Scott Roney. It's a long run here for Dylan Bryant. Last pit stop lap 34. Sorry, lap 46, 34 laps ago. And that's been under the green ever since. We expected 34, I think, to 36 laps was the fuel window tonight. $33 to $35. It's going to stay out another lap.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised to see them running this one out to the full tank. I would have expected them, with the other guys pitting this early, to help maintain that track position to have already been in, especially Larry, considering how much track position he has made up. Just trying to keep that same position with pitting right as these guys do.
You know, it's just the other mindset I think of here is if we do manage to stay green to the end, this just kind of makes that last pit stop that they're going to have to make of the afternoon that much shorter. So that could be the mindset here. Run this one out till the tanks are dry, knowing you're going to have to make one more stop, but you're not going to need to pack it full. But then how much time do you really save in the tire change? I don't know.
I was going to say, if you're taking 4, you're spending that time in there anyway. So I think I'm trying to keep the track position over the shorter pit stop possibly. If they're out of tires, then that's a whole different story.
God, Bryant has gone almost 38 laps on a tank of fuel. You gotta wonder, maybe Bryant's working the same strategy as Larry Dickerson with now only 5 trucks on the lead lap. The caution comes out now. Bryant's in the catbird seat. He might have to pit with a closed pit. Now here he comes. So 38 laps on a tank of fuel for Dylan Bryant. So it'll be a 4-tire change and Sunoco race fuel for Dylan Bryant. So how do you work this, Chris? If things have settled down here aggressiveness-wise, do you kind of just wait till your fuel window opens and then come right back down to bolt on the fresh tires, or do you run it dry for the later pit stop?
I'm going to run it. I may not run it completely dry, but I'm going to run it as, for a while. I'm not going to just come in whenever the pit window opens. I'm probably, with where we are right now, I'm probably going to pit with 20, 25 to go, maybe. Give myself some time to make up some ground if possible, but that way, if there is a late caution, I do have some sort of fresher tires. But I'm not short running these tires. You never know when that caution's going to come out, and you have that set sitting on the wall for the end of it.
I mean, with 47 to go, fuel window being, let's just say it's 35, do you maybe run it 23 laps and then pit, kind of split the balance of the race up in half?
I think you will see some guys do that for sure. I'm probably for 47. Yeah, I'm probably pitting with 20 to go. If it's me making the call on the fly like that, I'm probably pitting with about 20 to go. 20 seems to be a good round number, for the tire drop off, so you can still get the good out of them without having the huge drop off.
I mean, it kind of gives you the opportunity to go out there and hammer on them without having to worry too much about beating them up too bad.
Exactly.
So Alan Vaught has cycled back to the race lead, but Jeremiah Burke, through a little bit of an undercut on his part, he pit 2 laps prior than the current race leader, but he picked up some spots. Now in the second position, Trevor Robertson is third. He pit about the same time, but it seemed that Burke was able to be a better performer in and out of pit lane. 42.9 seconds. Robertson 45.33 seconds, and I think attribute that to Robertson going a little too deep in the pit box and having to back it up. It doesn't look like much when you watch it happen. He backs it up about 6 inches, and then boom, they start working on it. But it cost him some time, and that's a lot of track position while we're under green. And you can see it right now as Burke has been able to jump up into that second spot.
One thing to also look at here, Steve, when we started that pit cycle, you had Stoney up there in the 75. He was up there right in the front with those guys, and now stretching it a little bit longer than everybody else, he's back to 10 seconds back. So that just shows how much time you actually do make up on new tires on the track. Now, he'll probably close it back down because he's got a little bit fresher tires, but at what point is it too much to overcome?
Yeah, the same token, though, with Stoney is he was about 3 seconds slower by comparison to guys like Jeremiah Burke as far as their overall pit lane time was concerned. So a lot of that has to do with, okay, how quickly do you get into the pits? how aggressive are you in that first, I guess you could say, timing box before you get to the line, because it's time over distance is how they measure all this. It's not like a radar gun where if you come in and you're 6 miles an hour over the limit, you're going to get dinged immediately. You might be able to slow it down just enough at the end of that to make it work. Furthermore, when you're getting into the pit box, some guys are real aggressive on the brakes getting into the box. They know the very last moment they can get on the brakes to slow the truck down to get into their specific point in the pit stall, versus some guys that don't want to push the limit because they don't want to overshoot the box. They may come in a little slower and slow down gradually. There's time lost there, and that's why you measure those things, how long it takes you to get in to the pits and then back out. It does make a difference, especially when we're under green.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of the aggressive getting in, so a lot of times I'll hit the line over the speed limit and try and save as much time as I can there. Occasionally it'll catch me, but I'm that aggressive getting in, and a little bit more conservative getting into the box though, because I don't want to slide all the way through it.
Yeah, I don't usually slide all the way through it. That's I'm a little passive on that. Coming to 40 laps to go. Alan Vaught still the race leader. Trevor Robertson is now second. Burke slips back to third. Dickerson still having a good day here in the fourth spot after a poor qualifying effort. He's worked some strategy to get himself there, but he's doing a good job staying there. Dylan Bryant, fifth. Stoney Benfield, sixth. Russ Kilgore is seventh. Wade, eighth. Greg Klein is ninth. And Kyle Vaught into the top 10, but only 19 seconds back. So again, these green flag pit stops really starting to separate everybody. Starting to wonder if Tim Pope was one of the drivers that we saw maybe missed pit entry, because he's a lap down. It's the first truck one lap down. He's right there with Alan Vaught. He could technically take this lap back by force or just wait for the yellow. He also had a 13.1 second pit stop back at lap 78. If that's a 4-tire stop, that is super impressive. That's one of the fastest stops I've seen in the trucks in quite some time, but it makes me wonder if he took fuel and right sides just to try and get himself back up there. I don't know if that's the best plan. It's not really a strategy I see Tim Pope trying to implore, but maybe his pit crew's on Pervitin. Dylan Bryant real loose out of turn 4. I don't think he ever lifted, though. Is it just me, or does Dylan Bryant's truck look like a bomb pop?
Yeah. It looks like the can of Ghost energy drink that I had this morning.
Like the one you get off the ice cream truck.
Exactly.
12 trucks on the lead lap currently. Chandler Paul, the last one on it. Lori Vaught in the chat. I love bomb pops. Same. That is my go-to whenever the ice cream truck decides to roll through the neighborhood. Things running pretty smooth right now. We've been clean and green for quite some time. I want to say back to the restart, I want to say it was around lap 47 was the last time we had to try this again and go back to the green flag. But these guys have done a good job ever since. But through these cycles of pit stops, it's really separated the field considerably. Alan Vaught out to a 3.2 second advantage over Trevor Robertson, who was able to keep pace with Alan for quite a bit here this evening, but I don't know if Alan has just found another gear in that number 33. He's starting to check out considerably. Trevor Robertson, though, holding his own with a good distance back to Jeremiah Burke in third. Larry Dickerson not too far back. Neither is Dylan Bryant. They're still in the hunt to change up some positions. Coming up on 30 laps to go here in the next couple. It's going to be a question of who decides to blink first and come to pit lane and chance that caution either staying or coming out. Lori Vaught right in my wheelhouse when it comes to the ice cream truck. She likes the push-ups. The push-pops, you remember those?
The Flintstones ones were my
yes. favorite. Flintstones or the orange ones? I always had to go with the orange ones. There it is, Jeremiah Burke on pit lane. So here's one of the guys that took the opportunity with a little bit of insurance to come down as soon as that fuel window opened. I think this should give him enough to finish. Also, if we get a green-white checkered, he should be solid for that as well. Only one opportunity for that here in this league, so it's easier to plan. Trevor Robertson from second. These situations, that final stop of the night with 30 laps to go, this is where you got to be careful. Do not beat yourself. Don't throw this one away, especially if you're Alan Vaught. Don't expect him to, but here he comes. Trevor Robertson down and away, 14.72. Not a good year, but a good pit stop.
Steve, do we know if this is their last set of tires or if they still have one set over the wall left?
Well, looking at it, so this would be, I think this is Alan's fourth pit stop. I don't know if he took tires every time down. I assume so. Larry Dickerson has made 4 stops, but I think one of those is for fuel. He's coming in right now, so he's going to burn his set. This very well might be the final set of tires for a lot of these guys. Kyle Vaught, however, he runs fourth. He's only been to pit lane twice, so he definitely has a set sitting over there for later if things get crazy at the end. Derek Welch is in the same boat. He's only made 2 stops tonight. Man, there's a lot of guys. Tim Pope's only made 2. Andrew Cawthon. Yeah, they're coming up on 3 here, but see how this plays out. Jack Dixon now your new race leader. Now remember, Dixon, he was our first caution, I think. Or first or second.
Well, the second one, technically. The first one was before we even got to the line.
Fair enough. But Dixon now to the race lead.
And you know, Jack is one of those ones that he's always up there when it comes to pace every week. It's just there seems to be some sort of bad luck that catches him or something. He always qualifies pretty well. He just has some bad luck that takes him out of the contention, you know, sometimes pretty early.
Now you had to say that thing about luck as he drives it up into the safer barrier.
Yeah, broadcaster's curse, right?
Right? So Dixon made his stop lap 82, so he can probably hang out for a little bit longer. And honestly, if I'm him, I'm going to drag this as long as I can, knowing his situation. He's made 5 pit stops here tonight. I don't know if he's got tires left over the wall. You'd think he would have saved his set, but some of those pit stops might have been related to getting some damage repairs affected on that machine. But yeah, I'd stay out as long as I can if I'm him. Kind of do the same thing Larry Dickerson did earlier. But no, he's going to come down right now. course, you don't really know where he's at on fuel. It could just be like, all right, this is it. I got to come down now. So last set of tires going on the 48. 25 laps to go, and Alan Vaught back to the lead. Jeremiah Burke back to second. Same thing. Burke came down 2 laps before Alan. Robertson third. Welch was fourth, now fifth, as Dylan Bryant takes the spot.
I don't think Derek has pit yet.
He has not. His last stop was lap 78.
I think he unfortunately got stuck 1 lap down on that caution where Dickerson stayed out, and I don't think he's been able to get it back. So he's hoping for a caution right about now for sure.
Laps winding down here from Homestead, 23 to go. Alan Vaught once again putting on a dominating performance, carrying about an 0.8 plus advantage over Jeremiah Burke. Robertson, who's been strong all night, 1.1 back from the leader. Dylan Bryant in fourth, 3.8. Larry Dickerson still super impressed with him tonight. It's got to make you wonder is what kind of night would he have had differently if he did not have those problems in qualifying. He hit the wall on his first lap, and that was in the middle of 3 and 4, so of course it aced the first lap, but it likely killed his second lap. He parked it out of turn 2, didn't even complete that second lap. Started near the back of the field, but very quickly, through some strategy, he's found himself in the top 5 and remains there now. Should be good to go to the end based on the amount of fuel he's got on board. 21 laps to go. If it's even a top 5 for Dickerson, it's certainly a job well done.
One thing that has impressed me here too, Steve, is Alan pit after Jeremiah and Robertson there, and he was still able to maintain the lead even with them coming out on those fresher tires for a lap or 2 that they were. So the fact that he was able to maintain the lead and have fresher tires, that's pretty impressive.
And looking at the things that we talked about earlier about pit lane time, that's the in and out, Alan was actually a little bit slower than pretty much everybody in the top 5 with the exception of Larry Dickerson. So out of the top 5 drivers, Alan was 4th slowest.
Probably a little bit apprehensive after sliding through the box in that first stop. Try not to repeat that.
The same hand too, though. I mean, Alan had I think it was a 3.8 second lead before that pit stop cycle. So the fact that he's only got 1.2 now, he definitely lost time, but it just wasn't enough to lose a position. Tim Popes can hit pit lane. 19 to go. Using the Chris Goins strategy here.
See how this works.
Now again, the Pope, I don't think he's a lap down. He was the first truck one down at the time, but I think he's run it as far as he can run it and still get the advantage out of the tires.
Now that sounds like the Goins for sure.
Pope's down and away, 15-18, the pit stop for the 7. Time running out. It's He's going to lose another lap here, I think, but maybe he'll be able to drive away with the newer tires. Oh boy. Alan Vaught having a connection issue there for a moment. Problem is, when Alan Vaught has a connection issue, that means everybody has a connection issue because he is the host. Also, Chris, is it just me, or does turn 2 look a little bit darker now than it did earlier?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I feel like we lost some of that Musco lighting system. Robertson has taken the spot from Burke. Tell you, Allen is running some quick laps, though. He's over a tenth faster than Trevor Robertson right now. So there's your top 5, and there's pretty much nobody anywhere near them. The whole front straightaway barren once the 5th place machine gets clear into 1. These guys have got it figured out. Top 5 separated by about 4.2 seconds, and then it's 14 seconds back to 6th place Stony Benfield. And it's Kilgore, Klein, Wade, and Kyle Vaught in 10th. Leaders working through some lap traffic, or the other way around, maybe the 47 on fresher tires working through the leaders. Robertson up the racetrack. Really, I think the only one that's going to have anything for Alan Vaught is going to be the 47 of John McAdam, but unfortunately, he's not on the lead lap. McAdam back in the 25th position. By comparison, last lap for Alan Vaught, a 34.07. John McAdam, a 33.52, sorry. Pretty big difference there with the newer tires. McAdam came down at lap 113, took on 4. Checking on Kyle Vaught, though, still hanging out of that 10th spot. Really no pressure for him right now. He's got the 89 behind, but that's not a lead lap truck. Next position for him is the 48 of Jack Dixon. It's probably 8 truck lengths in the rears. Tim Pope rolling through. He's 21st. And the 55 of Wittenberg can make his last stop here with 10 to go. So 9 laps remain for Alan Vaught. Seal up this dominating performance here tonight. Surprisingly enough, this would be the first win of the season for Alan Vaught. Kicked it off in February. Albert Anderson won it It was Dustin Eaton. Dustin Eaton again. Jess. Oh, never mind. I'm reading it wrong. Jess goes by Allen. Allen won back at Phoenix. Jeremiah Burke last week at Vegas. Allen trying to get win number 2 here tonight at Homestead. We could be like NASCAR and just throw a yellow real quick. Just to see what would happen.
Some roll cage foam going down the backstretch.
Yeah, there's a water bottle in 2. It's full of lead. Six to go as Allen works through a little bit of lap traffic. David Feit in the Busch Light number 1. He'll go up the racetrack with plenty of room, their leader. Still 12 trucks on the lead lap. Derek Welch, though, the first truck 1 lap down, so if we catch a quick caution, he's back in that lucky dog position. Jeremiah Burke losing a spot to Larry Dickerson. Dickerson up the racetrack looking for another podium finish. Works the outside, gets clear of Burke. Now Jeremiah's got to worry about Dylan Bryant breathing down his neck. Larry's going to have to drive hard here. I think Burke is not going to give this up. He's trying to hold off Dylan Bryant, but he also wants to get that top 3. I'll tell you though, I think Jeremiah's got to pay attention to the rear view. I think that's his biggest concern right now. It's going to be the 51. Dickerson scrapes the wall on entry. Bryant with a big run out of turn 2, down the backstretch. They're side by side as they roll into turn number 3. I think Bryant's got the spot. We'll see if Burke can build enough momentum up the racetrack. No, he's in the wall. Tried to drive it in hard. That's the mistake at this place. You drive it in too deep. Scrub all that momentum on the safer barrier. So Burke now back to 5th. Dylan Bryant up to 4th. And still, Larry Dickerson, the hard charger tonight. 27 positions gained. Started 30th tonight. It's kind of more of the same from last night. Had a difficult qualifying issue. Had a problem last night. Had a problem tonight. Looking for another top 3 2 nights in a row at the same place. You can't tell he likes this place.
And he has not left the high side the whole race.
Nope. Same thing last night. So we're on the white flag here. Final lap for Alan Vaught. Pick up win number 2 on the season. Just needs to keep it clean. 3 seconds out in front from 2nd place, Robertson. Out of turn number 4, Alan Vaught from the 4th position to the race lead. Dominating win here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Robertson will finish 2nd, and Larry Dickerson brings it home in the 3rd spot. Top three all on a line here at start-finish. Alan Vaught, Trevor Robertson, Larry Dickerson park it here at the start-finish line. Telling you, iRacing, you got to update the smoke in the paint. There's no reason they can't make that smoke pink.
They can do it for gender reveals. They can do it in iRacing.
There you go. Kyle Larson style parks it here at the start-finish line. We'll step away here, get our break out of the way. We'll be back with our top three finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Alan Vaught victorious. A dominant run by the driver, the number 33 Mobile Chevrolet. Get a word with him in just a moment. Pull him up into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our winner. Alan, it's Steve and Chris with Track Limits in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
Congratulations, Alan. A strong run here tonight. Second win on the season. Not the best qualifying effort, but still row number 2. Not too shabby. Didn't take too long to put the truck in the wind out in front. Really didn't look back after that. Clean air is king. Really, was that the story tonight?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I wanted to get out there as soon as I could. I didn't have the best, like you said, quality run that I wanted. Missed the marks a little bit. And I think once I got out there and got that clean air, I really wanted to keep it. It was just a matter of how did the cautions fall, and you get lucky on that. And there's some debate about one of these cautions tonight. I got to go unravel that. But I think those guys got caught a lap down because there was lead lap cars that still hadn't pitted. But I'm not sure. A lot of them got cycled to the back. But overall, I'm happy with the effort. I was glad I was able to secure my second win on the season.
Certainly looks strong out there. I know Robertson gave you a run for your money for a little bit, but seemed like you were holding back a little bit there until later on in the run. You were able to put some distance on the rest of the field and really never looked back after that. What is the key to success at a place like this? There's so many different lanes and lines that you can take around here to be fast, but I mean, what was best for you?
Honestly, I was kind of equal on the bottom and the top, whenever I tried it. A little more tire wear on the top, but the risk versus reward is what I was thinking of. Running that top, maybe you could rip it, but if you have one lapse in concentration for a moment, you're gonna regret that. And then the other part was, early in the run, not letting the other trucks push you too fast, faster than you want to go necessarily. So that was tough. That's you gotta kind of balance that as well. Go fast enough to not lose track position, but take care of your vehicle.
Not just talent, you got to use your head out there. You did both of those successfully this evening, picking up win number 2. Using your head, that's going to get difficult next week. Martinsville Speedway next on the schedule. The paperclip, a lot of trucks going to be there next week. How do we stay out of trouble?
I have no idea, man. I just don't. Historically, this league it's been pretty ugly. I'm hoping it won't be, but it's a tough track, and even if you try to use your head, there's so much going on around you. You got to be good and lucky at the same time to win that race. So I don't anticipate I'm going to be up there winning that race, to be honest with you.
Well, we're certainly going to look forward to watching it either way. Congratulations on this one here tonight. Alan, who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Oh, man, always my wife, Lori, and everything she does for us. She's amazing. My teammates, Kelly Kuhl, he had an early problem. Got wiped out early. I hate that for him. And then Dave Mayberry, Greg Klein. Thank you for Track Limits for highlighting our league and crushing the broadcasts. And a shout out to Fred and Sarah. Other than that, my son Kyle, my son Brandon, who's in town this week from the Navy, my daughter Sarah, and Taylor up in Chicago, man. Thank you guys.
All right, Alan, thanks for the kind words, man. Congrats again. Good luck next week in Martinsville.
You bet, buddy. Take care.
Alan Vaught, your race winner here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the driver, the number 6, Trevor Robertson. Let's get his take on things here tonight. Pull the driver, the 6, into the broadcast booth. Trevor, it's Steve and Chris with Track Limits. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Trevor, congrats, man. A solid second place. You started outside front row. You finish outside front row. I know you would have loved to go up there and push the issue more with Alan Vaught, but we'll take the second place. Chris and I were talking about your driving style throughout the course of this one, and it seemed like when guys got to you with a little bit more pace, you just kind of let them go. And nowadays you don't see that a whole lot, but given the 6 on the door and the Valvoline on the hood, it made us think about Mark Martin. Is that kind of your style?
Yeah, that's especially when there's differing like tire runs. They had fewer laps than me on the tires, so here it's about tire saving. I didn't want to battle too hard, get stuck on the outside, burn them up. I like hugging that white line at the bottom, just getting the truck slowed down, letting it rotate, and then just hammering on the throttle. But I just couldn't quite save enough to keep up with Jeff's. Or Alan, sorry.
Still a strong run, second place, nothing to shake a stick at. It's where you started, it's where you finished. It's a good day if you're trying to gain some points on the season. So it's looking good so far. Next week, though, going to be a completely different challenge. We're down in Martinsville, Virginia on the short track. First real short track of the season. What are your thoughts rolling in to Virginia next week?
Paperclip is a nightmare most of the time. And hopefully we can get green, stay green, and I usually run well at shorter tracks. I enjoy finding the rhythm and trying to stay in that rhythm, and hopefully I can squeak out another top 5.
Well, Trevor, we certainly look forward to it. We're going to let you go here, but is there anyone you want to thank before we do?
Just you guys in the broadcast booth, keeping it entertaining every week, and Alan and Lori for keeping things organized and the train rolling, and my teammates at ADY. Me and Pope is trying to stay on the same strategy there, but we got separated. But that's about it.
All right, Trevor. Well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
All right, thank you.
It's Trevor Robertson, second place finisher here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to good old Larry Dickerson, driver of that number 69 machine. We'll try and fix the graphic. There we go. Pull Larry up into the booth here. Get a word with our third place finisher, Larry Dickerson. It's Steve and Chris with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Got loud and clear.
Larry, congratulations, man. Another podium finish, 2 nights in a row at the same track. But before we get into the race, you got to get that HBR TV logo off that truck.
I hadn't even noticed it. This was Ricky's paint he made for me last year.
Well, either way, a strong run here tonight. Kind of deja vu from the last night's race in the Num Thumbs Racing League. Problems in qualifying. Got the wall a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4. Come into your second lap. Decided to abandon that. Start back in 30th. And through some strategy, you work your way back towards the front. Finish this thing out in third. What was going through your mind, A, in qualifying, and B, once this race got underway, to change up your game plan for the night?
Well, qualifying, I told myself after last night, don't screw up qualifying, because I didn't want to start in the back in the middle of the hornet's nest, because all it takes is one person up front to lose and wipe out the whole field in middle 1 and 2 on the first lap. But of course, in typical Milk Dud fashion, I screwed up again and smacked the wall. And the race itself is trying to find that line of patience and aggressiveness. And I know I gotta apologize to Jack on lap. I can't remember what lap it was after we got back going again. My computer said he'd hit the wall and he bounced off of it and slowed down, so I turned underneath him to make sure I didn't hit him, and when I did, coming off the corner, I caught his left rear corner panel and accidentally spun him and brung a caution out. So I know he's aggravated at me, but I want to apologize to him. But after that, we got a couple cautions, and being that I was in the back of the pack, I knew we had an extra set of tires, so I tried to take advantage of it, and it worked out. And I got to the point where I was leaning there when that weird funky caution happened that screwed everything up. I played the long game, stayed out in case the caution come out to take advantage of fresher tires, and it worked, but I screwed myself when I was coming off pit road. I got caught speeding, wasn't paying attention, so I really believe I could have been up there with the way I was able to rip that top lane tonight again. Even I feel like I drove it better than what I did last night. I'm gonna be beating myself over this, cause if it weren't for that speeding penalty, I would never had to start behind all them lap cars on that one caution, and that just kind of was the nail in the coffin for me. I had a chance of winning. And other than that, it was just, the last pit stop, I stayed out longer again than them guys, took advantage of fresher tires, and I was able to get to Jeremiah. I know he's probably aggravated me too, because we were racing hard, but to me, I just felt like it was hard racing. It was nothing intentional. I accidentally bumped them and gave us both a 4X. But other than that, it was a good race. I'm happy with the finish, but at the same time, I'm beating myself up a little bit.
Well, fair enough. At least you can fall on the sword and admit the mistakes that were made. Still a strong run here tonight. Didn't really wreck the guys to get through here, but good to hear from you. Good to talk about this third place finish. Good couple of nights here for Larry Dickerson, but congratulations again, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you get going?
First off, I want to thank, again, Lori, of course, Alan. I can't thank him right now. He's a competitor, and he won tonight, so he's got to come second to Lori again. So thank you to Lori for everything she does for us. and everything she helps me with. Thank you guys for your broadcasting skills and the insight that Chris brings to the races also. It's really cool to get back and listen to the replays and hear his insight on strategies and stuff. And Steve, you're the best in the business again, man, hands down. My teammates, Chris, Derek, and John, I know that caution kind of screwed them up too. And then Dylan, he came behind me in fourth. Been nice to get two of us in the top three, but hey, two in the top five again. That's pretty good for Outcast Racing, I think. And thank you to my one sponsor, the only one that really matters to me, Angel Medicine Foundation. Anybody can go donate to that form of autism or any types of form of autism. You've been on that organization and people a wonderful cause.
All right, Larry. Well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week in Martinsville.
Oh, I'm going to need it. I'm going to probably be wrecked, but I'm going to try.
Larry Dickerson, your third place finisher here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. That's going to wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at the race results. Of course, we talked to Alan Vaught, Trevor Robertson, Larry Dickerson was the top three. Dylan Bryant comes home in fourth. Jeremiah Burke fifth. Stoney Benfield, strong sixth place finish. Russ Kilgore looking good in seventh. Chris Klein was eighth. Dustin Wade was ninth. Kyle Vaught with the top 10 in the 10th spot. Jack Dixon, through his struggle, still finishing in the 11th spot. A good run for the 48 to stick with it. Chandler Paul was 12th. Derek Welch finishes 13th. Andrew Player comes home in the 14th position. 15th went to Andrew Cawthon. Dave Mayberry was 16th. Dustin Eaton 17th. Greg Klein was 18th. Tim Pope, through a little bit of a strategy call, I believe that was the only issue here. He finishes back in the 19th position. Mike Adamson was 20th. 21st, Ricky Wittenberg. 22nd, Scott Roney. John McAdam was 23rd. Anthony Williams, 24th. 25th, David Fite. Dion Jones, 26th. 27th, Craig Goodenough. Greg Dobson, 28th. 29th, Kevin Hunt. Jason Gaines was 30th. 31st, John Osborne. 32nd was John Gallagher. Kelly Cool, 33rd. Albert Anderson, 34th. Josh Bittner, 35th. 36th, George Rincon. 37th, Sean McDonnell. Austin Paul, 38th. And last but not least, the 11, Joe Canellis in the 39th position, 114 laps down. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Congratulations again to Alan Vaught on the second win of the season. YouTube.com/@TrackLimitsNetwork is the channel. If you didn't already know, you're here watching, so you probably do. But while you are here, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button, smash that thumbs up. It does help quite a bit. It doesn't cost you anything to do it other than the 2 seconds it takes to click it. Gets these videos, these live streams out to some fresh eyeballs, some new faces that may or may not have already seen it, whether it's potential drivers for this league in the future or just some new viewers to the channel. It does help us. That's helped grow this channel and continues to do so. So again, congrats to Alan Vaught. Thanks to Chris Jones for joining me up in the broadcast booth. Thank you guys all for watching. Stream Chat busy as always. We appreciate it. Keep it up. We'll see you next week at Martinsville. Thanks for watching.